Let's get right into it. Number 8. You can outrun wild animals. Oh, the sweet optimism of this one. There you are, hiking alone when something massive and furry steps out of the trees. Your first thought, I'll just run for it. Because clearly, your moderately active lifestyle and new trail shoes will be enough to outrun an apex predator that evolved for speed, endurance, and lunch. Let's do some quick reality checks. Grizzly bears? They can hit 35 miles per hour. That's faster than Usain Bolt. You've got anxiety, a granola bar, and a Fitbit. You're not outrunning anything except maybe your dignity. Moose? They can gallop. Elk? They'll sprint through trees like caffeinated bulldozers. Mountain lions? Silent and fast. Even wild boars can chase you down like pork missiles. And that's assuming the terrain is nice. It's not. You're on uneven ground, dodging roots, slipping on leaves, and hyperventilating. Meanwhile, the animal is just vibing in its natural habitat, built for this chaos. What's worse? Running often triggers the chase instinct. Many predators aren't even thinking about you until you bolt. It's like yelling free snack with your legs. The better move? Stay calm, make yourself look big, back away slowly, and know when to fight, hide, or climb. Unless it's a bear, don't climb, they climb better. So unless you've been secretly training for the Predator Olympics, don't count on your feet to save you. Your best weapon is your brain, and hopefully a healthy fear of jogging. Number 7, moss always grows on the north side nature's compass, they said. Just find a tree, look for moss, and boom, north. Except, no. This is one of those charming outdoor myths that sounds legit because it shows up in old scout manuals and movies where characters just know which way they're going. But here's the reality. Moss grows wherever it wants. It's moss, not Google Maps. Yes, in some regions of the northern hemisphere, moss tends to grow more on the north-facing sides of trees because those sides get less sun and stay damper. But that's not a law. That's a suggestion, a mossy rumor, a flaky green half-truth. In dense forests, moss could be all over the tree, on the north, on the south, on the top, on your backpack if you stay still long enough. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, the whole rule reverses, or it doesn't work at all. Because again, moss does not care. It's just trying to vibe in moist spots and spread its tiny green agenda. So when you bet your life on moss, you're basically trusting a glorified fungus to handle your navigation. That's like asking a goldfish for driving directions. Want to actually find your way? Use the sun's position, the time of day, or, radical idea, carry a compass, or even better, a GPS. Even a half-broken phone is better than trusting a plant that reproduces with spores and bad advice. Number 6, you can drink your own pee. Ah yes, the golden rule of survival, straight from TV legend and wilderness enthusiast Bear Grylls. When in doubt, whip out your pee bottle. Let's be clear, yes, urine is mostly water, around 95%, but that other 5%? It's waste. Your body already rejected it for a reason. Drinking it is like going back to a restaurant that gave you food poisoning and asking for the leftovers. In extreme survival cases, like truly last resort, no other option, you're on Mars with no supplies extreme, some people have survived by drinking their own urine once or twice. But doing it repeatedly, that just dehydrates you more. And guess what happens when you dehydrate? Your pee becomes more concentrated, full of salts, toxins, and urea, which means every time you re-drink it, it's like turning the grossness dial up another level. Eventually, you're just sipping yellow poison and calling it hydration. And don't even think about peeing through a sock or shirt and calling it filtered. That's not how science or hygiene works. So yes, urine may be sterile when it exits, but that doesn't mean it's your new survival smoothie. If you're thirsty, focus on collecting dew, building a solar still, or just not wandering into the desert with zero planning. If you're sipping your own pee, something went very wrong way before that moment. Number 5, playing dead will save you. Okay, context matters. But let's talk about this myth's greatest hits: bears, mass shooters, and horror movies. Just play dead, they say, like it's an off switch for danger. But in many cases, it's the wrong move at the worst possible time. Take bears. Yes, if a grizzly is attacking you because it sees you as a threat to its cubs, playing dead might convince it you're no longer a problem. But if it's a black bear, or the attack is predatory, meaning it wants to eat you, flopping over like a picnic ham is just handing it the appetizer course. You have to know the bear, understand the situation, and then maybe playing dead works. Otherwise, congratulations. You just became the world's most cooperative snack. In other situations, say active shooters, this myth gets even more dangerous. Playing dead only works if the threat isn't checking, or moving, or doubling back. In many cases, staying quiet and hidden is a better strategy than curling up and praying your acting skills are Oscar-worthy. And don't even get me started on horror movies. If the villain's carrying a chainsaw and humming a lullaby, lying on the ground just makes their job easier. In real life, playing dead is a very specific strategy, not a universal hack. It's like applying sunscreen to your teeth and hoping it helps. You're misunderstanding the assignment. Number 4. If you're lost, just follow a river. This one sounds so poetic, doesn't it? The river knows the way. Sure, right to a waterfall, canyon, or bear spa retreat. The myth goes like this. If you're lost in the wild, just follow a river downstream. Eventually you'll find civilization, roads, towns, a diner with pancakes. Seems logical, until it's not. First off, rivers don't care about your survival. They'll happily lead you into dangerous rapids, impenetrable forests, or drop-offs that double as death slides. Also, most rivers don't wind through suburbs. They carve through remote terrain that's scenic but very unhelpful. And if the river twists the wrong way, congrats, you're now more lost than before, and wetter. To make it worse, people often underestimate distances and overestimate their stamina. That peaceful babbling brook might actually be a 30-mile hike to the nearest trailhead, all while you're low on water, supplies, and dignity. Now, to be fair, rivers can lead to signs of civilization, but only if you're prepared, strong, and not blindly charging through the brush like a salmon with poor decision-making skills. What should you do instead? Stop, breathe, make yourself visible to rescuers, conserve energy, build shelter, and if you do move, do it strategically, not like you're playing an open-world game with no map. So unless you've got a canoe, a GPS, and a strong desire to meet a family of angry otters, maybe don't put your fate in the hands of a random waterway. Number 3. Find food first, then worry about shelter. Ah yes, the survival plan brought to you by your stomach. Movies love this one. The protagonist crash lands in a forest and immediately starts hunting rabbits, digging for roots, and chewing tree bark like a desperate vegan at a barbecue. Meanwhile, the weather's turning, night is falling, and nature is prepping a very cold, very damp reminder that shelter snacks. Here's the reality. You can go without food for weeks. It's not fun, but it's survivable. Exposure? Hours. If you're caught in the cold, rain, wind, or sun without protection, your body's going to spiral faster than your post-breakup playlist. Hypothermia, dehydration, heat stroke, these will kill you long before hunger pangs do. So unless you want your final act to be a dramatic monologue about how you almost caught a squirrel, focus on shelter and water first. Food is a bonus, not the opening scene. Also, hunting is hard. You're not Bear Grylls, you're a tired, sweaty human in sneakers trying to make a trap out of dental floss and optimism. It's not going to work. So remember, the food can wait, the weather won't. Number 2, you can punch a shark in the nose. Ah, the classic underwater survival flex. If a shark comes at you, just sock it in the nose. Yes, by all means, try to land a clean punch on the moving, wet, torpedo-shaped face of nature's most efficient killing machine while you're flailing in salt water and panicking about your limbs. What could go wrong? Here's the actual science. A shark's nose is sensitive, yes, but it's also hard to find in a panic. It's small, it's mobile, and oh, did we mention the teeth? Experts say if you must defend yourself, aim for the eyes or gills, which are far more vulnerable and easier to target. But let's be clear, if a shark is attacking, you're already in deep trouble. Literally and figuratively. Most sharks aren't interested in you anyway. You're bony, chewy, and not made of fish. But if one does come sniffing around, splashing wildly and trying to audition for Shark Week with a haymaker isn't your best bet. Instead, keep eye contact, stay calm, and back away slowly if possible. Basically, treat it like a bad Tinder date with extra rows of teeth. And please, unless you're Aquaman with boxing gloves, stop promising you'll just punch the shark. You won't. You'll flail, and the shark will be very confused. Number 1, you can suck out snake venom. You get bitten by a snake. An instinct, plus about 47 movies and one very confident uncle, tells you, quick, suck the venom out. And now you're crouched in the wilderness, giving first aid like a desperate vacuum cleaner with a hero complex. Bad news, this myth is not just wrong, it's dangerously wrong. First, by the time you even think about sucking the venom, it's already in your bloodstream. Snake venom spreads fast. Trying to extract it by mouth is like trying to stop a bank robbery after the getaway car has already hit the freeway. Plus, you're probably introducing bacteria into the wound, damaging the tissue more, and, plot twist, possibly poisoning your own mouth in the process. Also, fun fact, many snake bites don't actually inject venom at all. They're called dry bites. But go ahead, keep gnawing at someone's ankle like it's a cursed Capri Sun. That'll help. It won't. The real move? Stay calm, immobilize the affected limb, get medical help, and definitely skip the venom-sucking TikTok tutorial. Basically, if you try to suck venom out of someone, all you're doing is adding oral regret to a very bad day. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.